Hello and welcome to another episode of Citadel Guard Adventures. This is Beriathan of the Citadel Guard of Gondor. We are back in Skurlock Farm and ready to talk to Meneldir to advance through the story after bringing him the report from the goblins and the half-orcs.
This has given us a lot to think about. But what is the Grey Fear?
I am most concerned about these mentions of something called the Great Fear. Is it a person, a spirit, or something else? Whatever it may have been, if it is responsible in some way for the fall of Cardolan or the breaking of Arnor, we need to prevent it from working a similar evil against us today. What does Malenfang have to say about this?
The Grey Fear? No, I've never heard of anything by that name.
Is it possible it might be a disease or an ailment of some kind? I seem to remember there was a scholar among the Dunedain who dwelt among the ruins of old Cardolan, though his name escapes me. Handarat may know of his whereabouts. He was encamped outside Caranost, was he not? Perhaps you should return and ask him. Okay. I think here we will begin all this back and forth in Cardolan that I've mentioned a couple times before. So let's get right to it. We're gonna first, go back to Caranost. There are a couple of quests that we can complete at this camp, and we'll see where else do we need to go after this one. Still have a couple of places left to explore, and we're gonna revisit some others. So this will take a while. But we are approaching the end of this playthrough far faster than I thought it would be.
Someone or something called the Grey Fear, you say?
I have not heard of such a one being involved with the ruination of the old kingdom, but I am no scholar. You should speak with Narndir if you can find him. He always possessed a keen interest in the history of Cardolan and was always to be seen writing in one of his many journals. Something in your expression brings Handarat to a halt, and he stares at you questioningly. Reluctantly, you tell him that Narndir was slain by Black Riders during the flight from Sardford, and that you and Meneldir discovered his body just off the road northwest of Hernan. I am very sorry to hear that, but especially so for Meneldir. I know they were close. Narndir never had a bad word to say about Meneldir, even after he left us. It was not so for many others. Handarat idly drums his fingers upon the hilt of his sword. Perhaps Narndir can still help us, Beriathan. I told you of the journals he kept. Well, I know at least one place where he hid some of them. To the east, beneath one of the towers of Caranost, there was a hollow place. Search there and see if Narndir recorded anything of this great fear in the years before he perished.
Well met.
Greetings. Have you found something of note? Gaiden inspects Chrysok's dagger, pausing when he sees the insignia of the White Hand. This bodes ill for Cardolan, friend. If the White Hand seeks for allies among the goblins and orcs of the north, it will not need to try hard to find them. It seems to me the best course is to destroy these objects or keep them hidden from sight, or perhaps I am wrong, and the best course is to bury them inside of the goblins and confuse their loyalties. I shall have to think about it upon this, lest I play into the hands of the enemy. Thank you, Beriathan. We got the deed. The trophy hunter of Cardolan. How many? Oh my god. How? 9 of them. Where? How is that possible? Jeez. There's no way we can get them all, I think, but I will count myself fortunate if we can find a couple more of this.
Have you a moment?
The supplies are from Arndir? They are welcome, but with reservation. My wife's brother is always doing this. Sirbalon, I think you should do this, he says. And Sirbalon, why did you not think of this? If I had known the ways of your brother when I fell in love with Maadril... But no, it would change nothing. She has all of my love and always will. It was her idea to send him scouting for goblins when the three of us came south, and it was very wise. Trust Arndir to annoy me even from afar. But the supplies are welcome. He is right on this point, our provisions are beginning to run out. Sirvalon sighs. And that is the worst annoyance of all, is it not? That my wife's brother was right once again. Are you married, Beriathan? If you are not, heed well my advice. Discover if your intended spouse has any siblings, and do so in advance. Yeah, that's an advice that you would hear quite often. Not only for siblings, but getting to know your spouse's family, parents, uncles, cousins, and that kind of stuff. I thankfully, well, on one hand, got a chance of meeting all of my wife's family before we married, but on the other hand, we get along quite good. I don't have any complaints about my extended family, so no, Beriathan is not married. The advice would be very useful for him, and I personally can vouch for that. Anyway, what? Okay, the entrance to this tower was in here. This place matches the description given to you by Handadot, and here we have a hidden cache. Inside the small coffer, you find a leather-bound journal wrapped in a cord. And we need to read this. Alright. You should bring the journal to the location it describes, the throne room in Caranost. But it doesn't say. So, alright. This means then, if I remember things correctly, when we get to the throne room in Caranost, well, we'll get the prompt to read the journal again, and at that moment, we will finally see, or we will finally learn what this journal says about that specific location. So that's the back and forth, really. This journal talks about different key locations in the old Kingdom of Cardolan, so you need to visit those locations before you can actually read the journal. And you will get lots of interesting bits of lore. Some of them made up, some of it comes from the books, but you will get a clearer picture of what happened to Cardolan after reading all this journal. But you will need to do a lot of traveling around, getting to all these ruins that, well, some of them we have already visited, some of them we haven't. But yes, that's what's gonna happen. As I said before as well, many players found this a little bit annoying, to say the least. I didn't mind initially, but after a while, it does start to get on your nerves. For the amount of traveling that you need to do to just basically read a book, and that's it. But on the other hand, something that you gotta consider is the alternative. And all this info dump that we are about to get dosified in about 4 or 5 entries, you could have gotten that all at once, and I think people would have liked that even less. And you might have missed some nice details about it if you were trying to read it through it too fast, or if you skipped it. It had to be dosified somehow. So I guess this is a serviceable enough solution for that issue, let's say. But of course, that for us means a lot of running around. This appears to be the location about which Narndir wrote, but I hope you don't mind me clearing this room, because you never know when these guys will start to just run around and interrupt you, and that's something that I could definitely do without today. This is the right spot. Let us read the journal. The writing is so evocative, you can almost imagine King Tarondor II is there. Alright, give me just a moment because, yeah, we are about to learn about many of the kings of Cardolan. And once again, it's the only chance you get of seeing this. So you gotta take a couple of good pictures.
You will think I have taken leave of my senses.
But after so much study, I feel as if I have come to know these figures of the ancient past. When they suffer, I suffer. When they mourn, I mourn. And when they triumph, oh, no one could understand the joy I feel at the triumph. Few though they might have been in those dark years. I feel as if I know them. Amleth the Builder, once Prince of Cardolan and then later Prince of Arthedain at Fornost. Eldamakil, Prince of Rhudaur, Kingslayer and Accursed. And Prince Tarondor, with whom I feel a close bond. The third and youngest son of King Artandil of Arnor was doubted not only by his brothers but also by his own people. Those who lived in Cardolan during his rule as prince called him Tarondor the Afterthought, but it was an epithet he would overmaster. When corrupt nobles promised plunder to the hillfolk tribes in the south if they rose up against the prince, he rode forth and vanquished the invaders. Tales of his valor grew, and Tarondor the Afterthought became Tarondor the Forthright, beloved by his people. So it was that when Earendur, king of Arnor and father to these three princes, died of an illness without naming a successor, there was more than one claimant to the throne. There might have been blood split then, as there would have been later, but Amleth suggested a compromise. Let the kingdom of Arnor be divided, he said to his brothers, with each of us to rule a province in friendship and alliance with each other. Tarondor then became not a prince but a king, and he was known as King Tarondor II, for there had already been a Tarondor in the line. As the king of Cardolan, he ordered a throne built and a crown forged at Caranost, and the fortress became the capital and the new ruling seat of the young kingdom. And even now, as I write these words, I feel tears welling in the corner of my eye, for I see the seat of treachery and death growing in the very foundation, and now what next must transpire. You should bring the journal to the location he describes at Amon Fern. Oh, come on.
Narndir writes of a clear path up the northern face of Amondir. The Dead Mound?
Dangerous place far to the east. Ah, come on. We were just there. Thank God. I hope I don't come to regret this, but we have our milestone. As I said, we'll need to visit many different locations throughout Cardolan, so I guess I will come to miss they were just called out on my milestone for this one. Now bear with me, I don't remember if I have already checked these ruins for something remotely interesting. So let me see. I think I had already been here. Yeah, it was a really small set of ruins, but it was still worth checking out. So that's on the border with the Trollshaws. Which part of the Trollshaws exactly? More precisely with the angle, it seems. Either way, Trollshaws or the angle, we don't have a high level enough to even think about going into those areas. I don't want to die. Oh, wait. The sun in here looks beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. As I was saying, I don't want to die just by trying to look at a place I shouldn't be right now. But I would still like to check all the different connections between the older areas and Swampfleet or Cardolan. So I guess I can do that later, but that is something that is still on my mind, and that is something that I would very much like to do. So yeah, expect that at some point in the future. Now, it would be really nice, but I don't think we have enough time today for that. As soon as the sun comes up past these three, I would imagine this would be an even better picture than what it is. It's still a really cool looking picture, don't get me wrong, but it could be even better. Alas, that's not the case for us, at least not today, unless we need to come back here somehow at some other point, but I doubt it. From what I remember, that will not be the case. So, what a shame. What a shame, but we gotta keep moving. List. Well, we are still a little bit too far away from my liking, but I wanna get a picture of the Dead Mound and the spire and everything. So let's see how much closer do I need to be for the picture to be at least good. I'm thinking maybe this little hill over there might be enough. Hopefully will be enough. But we are still so far away from that place. And the elevation in here is not as good as it could be. Shame. I really wanted another picture of this, but seems we are out of luck, at least coming from the north side. Closest we can get is, I would guess, oh, come on. I didn't see you there. As I was saying, closer we can get, I guess, is around here. Which is still not ideal, but the closer we can be. Now, the hub orcs are fighting with the shades. That works for us. And believe it or not, this is the first time in all my travels through Cardolan that I realize we have these stairs in here, so that you don't need to do the jumping thing that we did at the end of last episode. Come on, Meneldir is just right here. Can you believe it? Oh, this is unbelievable, truly. All those times struggling to get up there when the stairs were just right here. Cannot believe this. Alright, anyway, we gotta read the journal in here too. King Artandil, the writing is so evocative you can almost hear the sound of the battle. And Lord Amondir. So we're gonna take a picture of the king. And a picture of Lord Amondir, even though he's not in the best spot for this. But let's see what happens now.
Arthedain, Cardolan and Rhudaur were enmeshed in bloody fighting for near all the years of their existence.
Oh, come on! Would you mind? I'm trying to read in here. Jeez.
Arthedain, Cardolan and Rhudaur were enmeshed in bloody fighting for near all the years of their existence.
But few battles had such a cost as the Battle of the Dead Mound. 400 years after hated Ildamacil slew his brother Tarondor, another king of Rhudaur marched deep into the kingdom of Cardolan. King Malgun it was who broke the gates of Caranost at the head of an army of hill folk. Much of the royal family was slain on that day, but Malgun was unable to find King Artandil, Sensing his strength was near to overreach, the King of Rhudaur and his armies fled across the South Downs. Maddened by his grief, King Artandil pursued them, and at last the soldiers of Cardolan caught up the fleeing Rhudaurim at a hill among the barrows. It is said they fought so fiercely that blood ran down the sides of the hill in great rivulets, and bodies filled the gullies at its feet. Oh, for God's sake! Stop that! Leave me alone! As I was saying, it is said they fought so fiercely that blood ran down the sides of the hill in great rivulets, and bodies filled the gullies at its feet, and when the fighting was done, both Artandil and Malgun were dead, each having dealt a death blow to each other. The hill is known today as the Dead Mound. Red flowers bloom there ever after, and due to this day. I picked one of these flowers on an overcast afternoon when the sky was grey, and it seemed rain must have soon fall, but it never did. I enclosed the flower within my journal. It will be a reminder to me that there can be beauty even in sadness. A faded red blossom is tucked between two leaves of Narndir's journal, and it crinkles as you turn the pages.
After King Artandil fell at the Dead Mound, it was Amondir who rallied what remained of the host.
It was Amondir, the Lord of Tyrn Gorthad and Keeper of the Barrows, who rallied the remainder of the Cardolan host. Crying the king's name as he charged, Amondir rode down the fleeing men of Rhudaur. The son of Malgun was captured and later ransomed, and a costly peace between the kingdoms was purchased. The crown of Cardolan was offered to Amondir, but he refused it. He would not name himself king, and instead he took the title of prince. He would rule from Dolerniel, his own keep in Tyrn Gorthad. And of course you will not leave me alone. He would rule from Dolerniel, his own keep in Tyrn Gorthad. The primacy of Cardolan waned, and Elendil's line now only held true in Arthedain. Amondir rode to Fornos to offer his fealty, and with the reunification of Arthedain and Cardolan beneath Argileb, the newly crowned King of Arnor, there was once again hope for the line of Elendil and the troubled kingdoms of the Dunedain. But it would not last, for there was a power behind Rhudaur's evil, and it walked in secret. You should bring the journal to the location it describes, the southeastern corner of Tyrn Gorthad. Alright.
Narndir writes of a place in the southeastern reaches of Tyrn Gorthad.
It seems we must return to the Greenway. From there we can climb up to Tyrn Gorthad, but it has been a forsaken place for hundreds of years. Let me take a look. Yeah, that sounds like a plan. We can muster in Cardolan. This will take us to Herna. Yeah, I think that was all we could do in here. We already got the obelisk for the deed, which, by the way, I wanna double check. Okay, the weather by time you can make out faint writing on the large obelisk. It speaks of Artandil and Malgun, kings who met atop this hill and who felt each other with simultaneous fatal blows, which we have just read about. Thence fell Artandil and Malgun. Dreadthorn pierces heart, Warbranch striketh eye. Raven wine fast streaming, Dead Mound corpse heavy. Battle swellers holy slaughtered, forest linkers hunger appeased. Okay, alright. So now we need to go to Tyrn Gorthad, but there are a couple of quests that we can still do in other areas of Cardolan. I might be wrong. I'm not quite sure about it, but I would expect, now that we are going to Tyrn Gorthad, we'll finish exploring the remaining parts of Cardolan, and maybe we don't need to go back to some of these locations. We need to go now, so it's better to do that right now and not risk it. Of cool is all this, right? Oh my god, take a look at this. Just for a moment. The clear skies in Cardolan are wonderful. As far as I remember, all other places in Middle-earth, even on sunny days, you would have a relative big number of clouds, and you wouldn't get this view ever, except in here. But as I was saying, I might be wrong. So here we have an Ithel. You would remember we passed by these ruins when we first came to Cardolan, but these glooms were level 22, we were like level 15. Sorry. And we really weren't ready for coming here. But now, it's not a big deal.
I saw a light in the sky. I see so many lights, but this one's bellow tore through the air.
You inform Anaethel that Melanion is alive and well, handing her the hobby horse. Melanion? My child? I had a child, but he ran away. No, the orcs took him. But this is his toy, and there is a note on the bridle, you say? She clutches the toy to her chest.
Long have I wandered, with a fell gloom blinding my eyes.
For God's sake, leave me alone. Hail, stranger. You bring joyous tidings. Long have I wandered with a fell gloom blinding my eyes, but now that light has passed and my thoughts are mine once more. My son is safe and nearby. He is at Cirlon, you say? I will go there at once. Come and find me in Cirlon, and I shall reward you for all your efforts. Yeah, we gotta go back to Cirlon, but there is a chance, and once again, I'm not 100% sure about this, but there is a chance that we will also need to return to Cirlon after helping Rendal at Gaerbarad. So, we're gonna go there first. Riding back to Gaerbarad. We'll have 1 or 2 quests tops to do there. But it's quite probable that Rendal would have us go back to Cirlon anyway. After doing everything he wants us to do. So just in case that's what happens, I'm doing this first, so we don't need to go back to Cirlon twice. So, we're gonna set this as the quest guide focus. We're gonna take the chance to ride through the fields of Cardolan. Maybe getting the chance of visiting some places we really haven't had a chance to visit before. This map is really huge, and when you stop to think about it, there are many places that we really haven't explored. Like this Eye of Water in here. Looks suspicious enough, but might not be anything. It seems it isn't. Unless somehow one of these balls would have something, but I don't think that's the case. I mean, if we go back to this massive treasure hunter, jeez. All those enemies are named. I have not seen a named bowl anywhere around here. But it seems this would be a great place for one of these bowls to have a proper name. And give us a trophy. So either 1, I am wrong and there's nothing of the sort in here, or 2, There is, but the enemy is respawning. Somebody has already gotten to him, and we cannot see him. Either way, there doesn't seem to be anything for us in here. Lots of ore, but we cannot gather that ore on our own. So that means nothing for us, really. Treasure cache. Oh, cool. 6 out of 13, so we are roughly halfway through. We are also really close to the spot where Boromir left the party. But it's not exactly the same place. But yeah, we were really close. Had I known, I would have gotten that treasure cache a little bit sooner. But we still got it anyway, and that's cool. And from here, you can see Gaerbarath in the horizon. If we're lucky, we'll find somebody else. Southern Thief. That's not what I want. Wolf. Or... yeah, not a lot of things to see here. What a shame. I mean, we at least got a treasure cache. So... there was something to be had by exploring. But there are so many other things to discover in Cardolan that we are nowhere near finished. And how far are we now? 500 meters, okay. We're really close. Close enough, at least. Yeah, after meeting all these balls, it seems reasonable that one of them would provide a trophy, but these balls are scattered throughout the entire southern portion of Cardolan. So I don't have any idea where exactly would I need to look for them. Here we have Rendal anyway. Are you okay? Yeah. Rendal nods to you as you approach.
What kind of misfortunes led these people here, I wonder, to commit such acts of warmongering, to fuel their hunger for power?
Beriathan, I'm glad you came. I've been watching the camp for some time. What kind of misfortunes led these people here, I wonder, to commit such acts of warmongering to fuel their hunger for power? One way or another, we are all trying to survive. A shame it must be this way.
Between the two of us, that shouldn't be too difficult.
There must be several of these captains walking around, but defeating just a few will send enough of a message. Between the two of us, that shouldn't be too difficult. I'll let you decide how you want to approach this. When you are ready, let me know. I don't understand. Okay. Whether or not you need my aid, should you use this whistle, I'll be there. Okay. Okay. Will we get any other quest with Rendal? Doesn't seem likely, otherwise this wouldn't be optional. But I'm not one to turn the help away. That's one. And here is the second one. And even the third one. Let them come. Alright, I already have Force Rush. Ah, my god, that was amazing.
I only hope he realizes that there is more to life than just survival. Perhaps with my help, if he's willing.
A new start for Warden is now possible. I only hope he realizes that there is more to life than survival. Perhaps with my help, if he's willing. Thank you, Beriathan. You have a good heart. Don't let the world take that away. Never. Don't you worry about that. We're gonna grab this one. That was it. So we don't need to go back to Sirland or Rendal, but we still need to do for... Anithel. So, do we ride? Do we look for a stable master? I think we should look for a stable master. What else do we have here? Nothing noteworthy, it seems. But we got this bracelet. So let me take a look. It's the exact same one that we have on our wrist, on our right wrist. So yeah. Gonna also equip this in here. Gotta say, our equipment is looking really good. Almost all of it is purple. We are just missing a couple of pieces on our jewelry, on our gear. So yeah, it's looking really, really good. Yeah, the gear you get in Cardolan does make up for the lack of virtue XP while you are in Cardolan, but after you leave, I wouldn't be so sure.
What can I do for you?
So as much as I enjoyed our ride through Cardolan, I don't think we really need to do that twice. So that's why I got back to Herna. Now I got the swift travel. Just gonna go back there really quick to finish that quest. And I guess afterwards we'll muster back to Herna and resume our journey through the Greenway. So yeah, we are doing a lot of back and forth as you see. Some of it was related to the epic, but not all of it. And now my question is if there will be a little bit more of that, because once again we are going to the barrows, and after that should be a straight line to the end of Before the Shadow, but I'm not 100% sure on that either.
Well met, honored friend.
You have done so much for my family and for me. I thank you 1,000 times over, and it is not enough. Please take this as well as my gratitude. You brought my son back to me. You brought me out of my madness. How could I ever repay you enough? Oh, we got another quest? Alright.
Can I take a moment of your time?
My heart is heavy thinking of how scared poor Kai must have been. I know my hobby horse is much the worse for wear, but I would still like to gift it to him. I rinsed off all traces of work and have brushed out its mane once more. I know it is a poorly gift, given the danger he was in, but perhaps it will bring him comfort and let him know that he has a friend among the elves. Will you bring it to him, if you happen to pass through Hernia again? Well, you are really lucky, because I am indeed going back to Hernia because I need to get back to the Greenway. So yeah, I will be doing that. Something that I find really curious now that I am about to finish this quest line. You will remember when we met Melanian at a Caranost. We don't need to swift travel, we can just master. When we met it at Caranost, and well, he was surrounded by orcs, and of course that is scary and dangerous. and everything else you want. He talked like a lot of the human children we meet in the rest of the game. He sounded like a child. But now that he's safe with his mother and we just need to do this favor for him, he sounds like an elf, like an adult elf at that. And well, God knows how many years he has, but elves have a tendency of being wiser than what their face shows, so it kind of makes sense that you would get this kind of dialogue from him.
What can I do for you?
I can never thank you enough for saving my son. That's the second time I hear this today. For what you did for that poor elf. I am glad in my heart that we both got our sons back, but gladder still that she will not tempt away any more children.
How can
I'm trying to talk to Kai, I hope you don't mind. Oh, hello, you have something for me from the Wailing Woman's son? You hand him the hobby horse and his eyes widen. Bless me, but this is the best gift ever. You are sure I can have this? Oh, how wonderful. Look, Mom, I am a rider of Rohan. Yes, you are. So just be more careful next time, but yes, you are. And with this, we are at long last ready to move on. We have some of these vectors, class quest we haven't done. The reward, we have out-leveled that reward already, but when we hit level 30 we'll get another class quest anyway. Oh, but the class quest at level 30 is in Esteldin, not in Bree. Okay, I guess we can travel to Esteldin a little bit. Just for that, as I was saying, we'll need to get to level 82. We are 7 levels away and we're about to finish with Cardolan. How many levels can we get out of it? 28, 29 at most, I would say. And as I told you in a previous episode, I'm still thinking how can I match the end of the Before the Shadow playthrough with the Shadows of Angmar playthrough. And I have some ideas, as I have said. But I'm also thinking that, yeah, I will finish Cardolan, of course. But what I will do to get to level 32 is basically what you have already seen on the Shadows of Angmar playthrough, so I don't think I'm gonna show that on camera a second time. You get the idea of what will happen. So I'm thinking as soon as I finish through the epic on Cardolan and we get that prompt of reach level 32, I'm just gonna cut to it and skip the leveling process because you have already seen that. But let me know. Let me know what you would like me to do because, well, I haven't really mentioned this. I should have mentioned this at the end of the episode, but you would remember I skipped one day in my schedule during the early portions of this playthrough, and I promised I would compensate that to you by doing an extra video on Saturday, but I haven't been able to make good on that promise until now that we are finally doing the extra episode on Saturday to get back on track. I know it's a really small detail, not that important in the big scheme of things, but I really liked how my episodes coincided with the days of the week. You would have an episode ending in 1 or 6 on a Monday, so that way when you get to the Friday you have an episode ending in 5 or 0, and I like that consistency. And this has been eating me inside. ever since I skipped that episode. Episode 5, I think it was even. So, at long last, we are back on track. And I also owed that to you. You had one episode less in the early weeks of Before the Shadow, and now you will have an extra episode on the later portion of it. But yeah, that was something that I also forgot to mention. And as I was also saying, I'm gonna skip the leveling process. All the levels that I missed between where I finished and level 32, I'm gonna skip that. But well, we're about to meet with Riangar once again, because you will remember we were investigating her mother's journal. And this will in the end tie up with what we're doing for the epic as well. But we're about to start a long investigation in these barrows as far as I remember. I don't think we have enough time for that today.
The statue of Luinos is said to be among these ruins.
Thank you for meeting me here. The statue of Luiloth is said to be among these ruins. I dare not tread there myself, but you are certainly capable and will be in far less danger, I am sure. Please look for the statue. Riangar smiles as she sees you. I think we can at least talk to Meneldir, Arnil, and Mabli. What's the deal with you two?
Oh, hello there. Well, I need your help again.
And Mabli says, that's right, he does. This layabout lied to you, didn't he? She nudges her grandson with her boot. He groans and nods vigorously. I forgot to give you one of the items I borrowed from the tombs. I tried to return it, I really did, but, well, the spirits within are so riled up that I can't enter the tomb to return it. Here, take it, I never want to see it again. I told you we would meet him again at some point. Not in How Nirui, but in here. I didn't remember this part, him being scolded by his grandmother. How funny is this? What did you get yourself into this time, huh? You better listen to your grandma and stop getting yourself into trouble. So, that means... yeah, I think we have enough time just for those two things. Talking to Meneldir, reading the journal. We're really close. And hopefully finding the other tomb. This appears to be the location about which Narndir wrote.
What does Narndir have to tell us about Tyrn Gorthad? I almost dread to hear it.
Me too. But we need to get to the bottom of this. The writing is evocative. You can almost imagine the horrors that here transpired. You scared the bejesus out of me. Having the Witch King pop out of nowhere right behind you? My God, what were you thinking? Yeah, don't ever do this again. Please. Don't ever do this again. Especially not at level 20 something. I mean, when we last see the Witch King, well, when the Witch King is defeated at the Pelennor, you are level 105. And when you meet him in Mordor Besieged, you are level 120 something, 100 levels more than what we have today. And even then, that's a really horrifying encounter. 100 levels more than what we have today. So please don't ever pop the Witch King on my back ever again. I know this is not the real Witch King, but this is still... That was really scary. Don't do that again, please.
After Rhudaur's most recent defeat, the armies of the Witch King required time to recover.
And revealed. During that time, their evil master turned to sorcery to bedevil his enemies. In secret, he came to the barrows and walked among them, whispering to the dead. And now to those living nearby, long-buried lords and kings stare in their tombs, infested with fell spirits out of Angmar's darkest pits. At the Witch King's bidding, they emerge, legions of the dead moving silently through the fog, preying on any who stray too near. Oh, we have a better picture of Amondir in here, thank you. That's really nice of you, thank you. The plague of the dead warns it, writes Narndir, and even the children of Cardolan were not safe from it. Countless children were stolen from their beds or vanished from within otherwise sturdy and unyielding walls. Desperate to put an end to this nightmare, Prince Amondir set forth on a quest to find the cause of the dead's unrest. He was the Lord of Tyrn Gorthad, after all, the keeper of the barrows. What had he to fear from the mist that settled upon the burial mounds? Was it not his people who were buried there? Were they not his own ancestors, his own kind, his own subjects? If he could not ease their burden and restore their restful peace, who could? Even as I write this, I find myself hoping beyond hope that the Lord of Tyrn Gorthad could put an end to it. But this has been my lifelong study, and I know how this tale ends, and it does not end with Amondir for all his courage and his duty. There he goes. Prince Amondir disappeared among the barrows. He was never seen again.
It is hard to listen to the words of my friend Narndir, and know he will write no more.
I will keep this journal in memory of him, and I would do so even had we no need of the knowledge contained within. You hand the journal to Meneldir and he flips through the pages. Was never seen again, he reads, and turns the page. He looks up at you, puzzled. What happened to the rest of Narndir's account? There are several pages missing here. Even if that is the end of Amondir's story, there must have surely been more for Narndir to write. See, the account resumes here, beyond the missing pages. But what was removed, and who removed it? Both are very good questions.
I think you should return to Ceylon to speak with Hunderad.
Oh my god, are you for real? We are now level 26, we got the Mastering Ost Gurus. We might need it later, but not today. We'll need to wait and see. After the missing pages, Narndir writes of Dolernil, the keep from which Prince Amondir ruled. I will go ahead and see what I can learn from there, but I think you should return to Ceylon to speak with Hunderad. He knew the location when Narndir kept his journal. Perhaps he will know why some of the pages were removed. If you solve that mystery, I will meet up with you again outside Dolernil. Oh my god, are you for real? I thought the backtracking in Cardolan was behind us. I thought it was not as bad as I remembered, but no, there is a whole other portion of backtracking we'll need to do to recover the missing pages, and that is the one that is a freaking pain. Not this one that we did today. This one that is right around the corner, for God's sake. Withergrip. Oh, thank you. Oh my god, awesome. After encountering and defeating the elusive arm, Withergrip, you have claimed a trophy that may be of value to the Dunedain of Cardolan. As you wrest Withergrip's finger bone from its hand, you hope that this is the last time that troublesome limb will creep from the Barrow Downs and harry the people of Cardolan. You should bring this trophy to Gaerion, a trophy hunter and lore keeper of the Dunedain of Cardolan. Fingerbone, awesome, at least we got something good out of it. And we also have these gloves that are better than the ones we have, and this grave. You feel a lessening of dread as you gently replace the necklace. I have a bad feeling about this. I think we've been played. Oh no. Oh no, not this time.
You're back. Excellent.
I do not hear the excessive moaning and groaning that was coming from the tomb, so it seems you were successful. Thank you for putting the spirits back to rest. I hope that my grandson has learned his lesson. I hope he has. Okay, a couple of quests that we don't need. And it seems that was it for Arnil and his grandmother. I'm so glad this ended up with a happy ending. I wasn't ready to mourn any of you. So yeah, I'm glad this one worked out okay. So we need to go back to Stirland once again and start looking for the missing pages in Narndir's journal. But we also need to go and search for the statue of Loiloth. And I think those two storylines will converge in the end. But I would still like to take some time and plan what I'm gonna do next. We don't have enough time in any case, so this will be the end of today's episode of Citadel Guard Adventures. Thank you so much for watching, I hope you enjoyed, and I hope to see you on the next one. Until then, my friends, stay safe, take care, good luck to you all, and I will see you later.